Chapter 13, Kyushu 1. Urban area consists of a central city and its surrounding built-up suburbs. Urbanized area is an urban area with at least 50,000 inhabitants. Urban cluster is an urban area with between 2,500 and 50,000 inhabitants. Central city is an urban settlement that has been legally incorporated into an independent self-governing unit. Central Place District, best known as the downtown of a city, it is usually the most distinctive area of most cities. It is less than 1% of the urban land area, but it contains a large percent of the consumer, public, and business services. Metropolitan Statistical Area, created by the U.S. Bureau of the Census as a method of measuring the larger functional areas of a settlement. It includes an urbanized area with a population of at least 50,000, the county within which the city is located. In New England, towns are sometimes used instead of counties, adjacent counties with a high population density and a large percentage of residents working in the CBD. Distinctive features of the CBD has a three-dimensional character with more space used below and above ground level than anywhere else in the urban area. Land uses commonly found elsewhere in the urban area are rare in the CBD. Vertical features. Underground CBD. A vast network exists beneath most CBDs. Skyscrapers. Demand for space has also made high-rise structures economically feasible. Business services include advertising, banking, finance, journalism, and law that particularly depends on proximity to professional colleagues. For example, lawyers choose locations near government offices and courts. Consumer services include retailers with high range and those that serve people working in the CBD.
This is the concentric zone model, created by E.W. Burgess. A city grows outwards from a central area in a series of rings.
Sector model, developed by land economist Omer Hoyt, believed that cities develops in a series of sectors. Certain areas of cities are more attractive than others. As a city grows, activities expand outward in a wedge or sector.
Multiple nuclei model, developed by C.D. Harris and E.L. Ullman. An example of the model is the playground. It represents a city. The swings and slides so that the playground has more than one center, like a city does.
Peripheral model. This is the peripheral model, developed by Chauncey Harris as a modified multiple nuclei model. It is an urban area which consists of an inner city surrounded by a large suburban residence and service nodes tied together by a beltway. Megalopolis, a Greek word meaning great city. Within a megalopolis, central cities such as Baltimore and New York retain distinctive identities, and urban areas are visibly separated from each other by parks and farms, but the periphery of the urban area boundaries overlap.
Public transport in the United States, primarily used for commuting by workers into and out of the CBD. It is only used for 5% of commuting trips in the United States.
Two forms of segregation. Segregation of social classes. Housing in a given suburban community is usually built for people of a single social class. Segregation of land uses. Residents are separated from commercial and manufacturing activities that are confined to compact, distinct areas. Segregation by race and ethnicity also exists in some suburbs. Transportation epoch. Sail wagon, 1790 to 1830. Iron horse, 1830 to 1870. Steel rail, 1870 to 1920. Auto air amenity, 1920 to 1970. Satellite electronic jet propulsion, 1970 till now. Cities have prospered or suffered during the various epochs, depending on their proximity to economically important resources and migration patterns.
Each hour or peak hour is the four consecutive 15-minute periods that have the heaviest traffic.
Key issue 4. The underclass is a group in society prevented from participating in the material benefits because of social and economic hardships. They lack technical skills needed for most jobs because less than half complete high school and they live in inner cities. Several are homeless because they cannot afford housing and don't have regular income. There is a lot of crime and people turn to drugs.
Public housing is government-owned housing rented to low-income individuals with rents at 30% of the tenant's income. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It depends largely on how we construct our future transport. Carbon capture and storage. Capturing waste.
CO2 transporting it to a storage and depositing it where it will not enter the atmosphere, normally underground.
Go.
Filtering is a process of change in the use of house from single-family ownership to rented apartments and ultimately to abandonment. Redlining is the process by which financial institutions draw red color lines on a map and refuse to lend money for people to purchase or improve property within the lines. Gentrification is a process of converting an urban neighborhood from predominantly low-income rent or occupied area to a predominantly middle-class owner-occupied area.
Legally adding area to a city or country. Census tract, an area set out by the U.S. Bureau of the Census for which statistics are published. In urban areas, they correspond roughly to neighborhoods. Density gradient, the change in density in urban areas from the center to the periphery. Edge city, a large node of office and retail activities on the edge of an urban area. Formal settlement, an area within a city in an LDC in which people illegally establish residencies on land they do not own or rent. Smart growth, legislation and regulation to limit suburban sprawl and preserve farmland. Social area analysis, statistical analysis used to identify where people of similar living standards, ethnic backgrounds, and lifestyle live within an urban area. Sprawl, development of new housing sites at relatively low density and at locations that are not contiguous to the existing built-up area. Suburb, a residential or commercial area situated within an urban area but outside the central city. Zoning ordinance, a law that limits the permitted uses of land and maximum density of development in a community.